It might be me.
Call to order the Silent Springs Board of Directors meeting for October 15th, 2024. Roll call.
Blair. Long.
Here?
Wiles.
Here.
Hunt.
Here.
Rissler.
Here.
Allen.
Here.
Carroll.
Here.
Thank you. If you will, please stand with me while Director Wiles leads us in prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we come before you this evening just asking your blessings upon us as we discuss the business before us. Father, we just pray for wisdom to be with us, Father, that we might make the decisions that are best for all. Father, we are so grateful for the blessings you give us. We are so thankful to be able to live in this town and to be a part of its work day by day. Please be with us, Father. Help us always to seek your will, to do our best for you, and to live in your love. And it's in your Son's name we pray.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would ask that anyone that has an electronic device, please silence that or turn that off so we don't have interruption during our meeting. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So with that, we will move into our public input time. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any item that is not on our regular agenda? If so, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Mike Horton, 2450 South Lincoln Street, or 23063 Lawless Road. I would like to bring to the attention and maybe some input I think is being very confusing, but will be on our amendment on our ballot, not only in our county but throughout the state, and that's issue 2. And if I understand it right, and again would like some direction, that voting for issue 2 is basically retaining our right for our voice to be heard and allowing a casino to come into our county. If we vote against that, it will take away our right and our voice to determine whether or not we want a casino in our county. Again, if I understand, for clarification, that vote, again, voting for maintains our right, voting for retains our right as a voter to determine whether we want a casino to be built in our county or not, and voting against it relinquishes our right, allowing other entities to make those decisions for us. Do I stand corrected, or can I get a clarification on that?
It was something presented by Pope County. I think that's where it originated, the petition for the signatures.
Pope County, but it's in every
But
county.
it's going to be on it. But as far as clarification, Mike, I have read the ballot. I've looked at a sample ballot, and I've read the issue, but, I'm kind of like you. It's a little confusing.
It's very confusing
it's-
when you read it.
Yes.
And then when you hear all the ads, it's like everybody's trying to go through the back door.
That,
So
you know.
anyway, it's presented. Maybe someone can have some input on that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kent Wyatt, 1109 East Jewell Street. I can do just a little bit of clarification on that real quick. There's a good little article on the University of Arkansas Department of Agriculture section website that tells pretty much a really good in-depth on that. And it is Pope County's license that they have to have a casino will be, if you vote for it, will be removed, will be repealed. And then they will put in the amendment will be where you can then, they'll have to have a vote from the local people in order to have a casino in their area from this point on. And that's what that's all about. That's not what I really came up here to talk about, but I just know that I've looked at that myself and was looking at that. We got a big election coming up. and maybe one of the biggest in our history. Maybe, I'm sure a lot of people have thought that over the years, but I think this may be in that situation. We've got a lot of information, kind of like we've talking about, a lot of information on national and local and those kind of things out there, but I've had a lot of people ask Rebecca and I how we're going to vote on the city board. They are just very curious, not just I know we have a large group of people that we come kind of and represent that would like to be here and just can't this often, but that's something that a lot of people don't have a lot of information. And so I thought I just kind of share a little bit about some of our thoughts. I'm sure a lot of you know that we came here because of the conservative Christian values of Siloam Springs. They had a good reputation, and we heard about that, and that's one of the things that brought us and made us decision to move here. And so that is very important to us. The one thing we do not want to see happen is for this board to fall back into the hands of those who are favorable to the liberal, woke, progressive groups that have tried to move this town in the wrong direction. And I think that is a dire danger in this upcoming election. There's a lot of things that are in play here, and a lot of people that are interested in that happening. And I still believe that Siloam Springs, the vast majority of people in this community are conservative Christians. But it won't matter if you don't come out and vote. And so with that, I just want to kind of share just a little bit about what we have done to try to decide. And it does take careful consideration. One of the things that I recommend that you don't go off of is a person's claim to Christianity. And not that I'm judging anybody for their Christianity, that's up between them and God, but as far as conservative Christian, everybody in the field of candidates claims in one form or another connection with Christianity. And so a person saying that really means very little in this environment, in this election for city board, and for a lot of things.
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes
Oh,
are up.
thank
but,
you.
That's
all right.
Go ahead and finish that thought, and then,
Well, I'm just going to put it down to this. We just came here to say that after all the consideration, that we are going to go with the incumbents, David Allen and Mark Long. The seat 5 is a little more difficult. Real quick, I'm just going to say that. But Reed, I like him as a person. I like him a lot. But Kevin's been hanging around here so long. He's almost an incumbent himself, and so I think it's time we give him a shot.
Thank you.
That's where we go.
anyone else?
Rebecca Wyatt, 1109 East Jewel Street. I'm going to read. We have a problem getting conservative viewpoints from our regular news outlets, so I wanted to let people know about these publications. So this one here, you can go to ArkansasVotersGuide.com, and it's brought by Family Council, and they have a whole big thing here, and they've asked all kinds of questions about everything from abortion, guns, Ukraine, civil liberties, and different things like that. So that way, if you want to get some information and you're looking up different candidates, and this is for Arkansas races, it's not for our local race, it's just for all the other ones. And it also has, it also has the federal races too. So people have either answered the survey or they have not. It'll show you that. And so that's ArkansasVotersGuide.com. And then there's also another place you can find information on Facebook from Benton County Conservative Grassroots. And so we really appreciate the year and a half we've been trying to help out with our city. And from my point of view, I really don't want Unite Siloam's group to be able to get voted back into office. And they are backing, for seat 6, they are backing, try to get my memory here. Donald Clark is being backed for seat 7, and for seat 6, they are backing Brad Burns. And so we are praying, we'd like God to just move. One of the other things that is important for me, and the reason I'm not voting for Nathan Gunneman, is he is conservative, but I really like Mark Long's position on finances. He's careful with his finances and how he's been voting, and so I've been able to watch him. My husband is in agreement with that, and we really want to be careful with our city finances along with our Christian standpoints. So I thank you for your time, and we're just praying for everybody. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? If not, is there anyone here that would like to address the board on an item that is on our consent agenda for tonight? There is none, so we will move on with our agenda. And the next thing is a presentation. Chief Scott Miller from our police department is going to, I think, give some service awards.
Madam Mayor, members of the board, Scott Miller, Chief of Police. It's my honor to stand here today and recognize two of our esteemed officers, Captain Juana Velez and Sergeant Mike Ephraim. If you guys would join me up here for a second. In law enforcement, we have the privilege of reaching many milestones throughout our careers. And while this is about these two gentlemen here, it is also still a milestone for myself in that I got to supervise and mentor each one of these guys throughout their entire careers. And I couldn't be more proud of the two of them. And tonight, we recognize their milestone of reaching 20 years of service for the city of Siloam Springs. Their dedication, not only to the city, but to the department, is above reproach. They have equally done their share over the years and have been a part of this community for above 20 years. And I'm just very grateful for them and their service, and I just ask that you guys join me in recognizing them for their dedication and service of 20 years to this city and to the police department. From the mean streets, when Juan was just a young man running around here and I was a new officer, to recruiting him, and for Sergeant Ephraim coming on as a CSO or jailer and seeing his achievements and working his way up through the ranks to the rank of sergeant, and watching them both become leaders and continue to lead is what this is all about. And 20 years of service is not to be taken lightly. Of my time here, I and Deputy Chief Spicer and just a couple other have reached this milestone of 20 plus years, and it's less than 10% of our department's history have reached 20 years. So congratulations to you both, and look forward to many years to go. Thank you. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. And thank you for your service, guys. We do appreciate you staying with our city and protecting our citizens, and 20 years is a special thing, so thank you all. So with that, we will then move into our consent agenda. Item A, regular meeting minutes, October 1st, 2024. Item B, budget workshop minutes, September 24th, 2024. Budget workshop minutes, October 1st, 2024. Item D is surplus sanitation department, Baylor's. Item E, approve the 2024 auction list and auctioneer services of Estafet Combs. Item F, contract Healthcare Reinsurance, International Assurance of Tennessee, $250,249.32. That is our consent agenda. Is there any item that a director would like to have pulled for separate consideration?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just have a question about E, so.
Okay, we'll pull E.
E.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Christine, could we pull F and you just explain to the public what you did last week?
Yes, we can pull that, but I will let the HR director handle that.
So we will pull E and F. If that, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as approved or as amended with item E and F removed.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Long,
Yes?
Wiles,
Yes.
Hunt,
Yes.
Rissler,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Motion to approve is passed, and we will then move to item E. Mindy, approve the 2024 auction list.
My only question there was, I was just a little confused by the fact that the person that did the auction last year apparently had given a promise or a guarantee for the same quote for 3 years, but I just want to confirm, he did not submit a bid this year?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there wasn't somewhere that said that we would use him for the next 3 years with an assumption because he had guaranteed that 3 years, but,
No, we actually even sent that for attorney review to make sure that we weren't locked into a contract.
Okay.
It was just a price guarantee for 3 years.
okay, perfect. Just want to make sure. Thank you.
So anyone else? Do I have a motion to approve item E for the auction list?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Wiles,
Yes.
Hunt,
Yes.
Rissler,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Long.
Yes?
2024 auction list and auctioneer services is approved. And item F, the contract for healthcare reinsurance. Mark?
Madam Mayor, I just want the public to know, it's a big number up there, but we are self-insured. And so let you explain, I'm not trying to.
Well, I'm not sure what,
Steal your-
I'm not sure what was talked about because I wasn't here, so.
Basically, we just talked about the fact that we're self-insured, and this is insurance to cap the claims.
Yes, it is. We had a lot of issues with different, you're going to hear this later tonight too, but we had a lot of issues with different health care providers where HR Store was, it was crazy. They were not covering things. It was nuts. Our employees seemed to be happier with Blue Cross Blue Shield. So we went self-funded was it 3 years ago? About 3 years ago. And what they do is they put a cap on our part of the claim. So most get the $100,000 cap or whatever that cap may be, $125,000. I think it's 125, isn't it?
This year, we're going with 150.
Oh, 150, okay. So 150,000 is what the city would pay of a claim if the employee has a claim that high. And that's all we pay. So it protects us.
So for the public, plain and simply, this is a cap.
This is a cap.
This is, and when we hit 150, then this insurance kicks in. So
Yes,
if we
it
have
does.
a major event, a heart, whatever, transplant or something, at 150, this insurance kicks in. So I
Yep.
just want the public to know. Thank you.
That's perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Anyone else?
I'll just say, I appreciate the HR and Finance Department looking out for the citizens on the health care of our city employees, and they are always working to get the best rates, and this has been going on for several years, where they do their due diligence to find the best possible amount, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? If not, do I have a motion to approve item F for the contract for healthcare reinsurance?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Hunt, okay. Rissler,
Yes.
Yes.
Carroll,
Yes.
Long,
Yes?
Wiles.
Yes.
Contract for healthcare reinsurance is approved. Thank you, Misty. Well, we will move into our regularly scheduled items now. We have ordinance 24-30, first reading, annexation of 0.21 acres, 2270 Highway or Don Hill Road. And Ben, you will be presenting.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, Ben Rhodes, Senior Planner. This is the annexation we presented at the agenda session. It's 2270 Don Hill Road. It's just squaring off the corner of the subdivision, as you can see in the map there, coming in as R2, single-family residential. This will be part of that Heritage Ranch subdivision. No additional residents will be added. This is just merely adding the acreage to the subdivision. And with that, staff is recommending approval. We're available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Directors, comments or questions?
Madam Mayor, I'm just
David?
going to ask Ben, why did it not get squared off in the beginning? I know it's like a real long sliver, and you're right, it's just to square it off, but why did that get left out?
The developer didn't own the land. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
acquired it since the subdivision
Okay.
started.
It's such a weird shape.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so narrow and very long,
Yeah.
and it makes sense to do it,
Yeah.
to square it off. I just didn't know why. Thank
Yep,
you.
that's why. Yep.
Anyone else? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address ordinance 24-30? There is not. Directors, do I have a motion to place ordinance 24-30 on its first reading, suspending the rules, reading by title only?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Rissler?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Long?
Yes?
Wiles?
Yes.
Hunt?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Christina?
Ordinance number 24-30, an ordinance accepting the annexation of certain territory described as 2270 Don Hill Road to the city of Siloam Springs, Arkansas, and assigning same to a ward.
Thank you. Next is ordinance 24-31, first reading, vacation of a right-of-way for 800 block of South Lincoln Street. Megan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Megan Thomas, Planner 1. As she stated, this is a vacation request to vacate a 10-foot wide alleyway located at the 800 block of South Lincoln Street. The alleyway has not been used and is not needed by the city or private utilities. We are recommending approval, and staff is available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Directors, comments or questions? Mark?
For the public to know, back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, a lot of our lots were smaller, and we historically put alleyways in the back so you could access the back of your property. And this is when all the neighbors and all the department heads agree that they don't use them, and it's fine for it to go back to the original owners, and well, not the original owners, but the owners of the property. So there's no one disputing this. And so if you think, I want my alleyway closed, well, you have to get all your neighbors and all the department heads to agree.
Thank you. Anyone else? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address ordinance 24-31? There is not. So, directors, do I have a motion to place ordinance 24-31 on its first reading, suspending the rules, reading by title only?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Allen?
Yes.
Carroll?
Yes.
Long?
Yes?
Wiles?
Yes.
Hunt?
Yes.
Rissler?
Motion is approved. Christina?
Ordinance number 24-31, an ordinance vacating and abandoning right-of-way at the 800 block of South Lincoln Street.
Thank you. Next is ordinance 24-32, first and only reading, waive competitive bidding for health insurance network and administration with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Misty?
This is the ordinance to actually approve Blue Cross Blue Shield being our carrier. Like I said, employees are happier with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We love the customer service, so we are, as the staff is recommending that we keep Blue Cross.
Thank you. Directors, questions?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Mark.
It was mentioned at the pre-agenda that we have employees that have children and such that have a unique health needs, and that Blue Cross and Blue Shield at this time serves those needs the best.
Yes, correct.
Anyone else? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address ordinance 24-32? There is not. Directors, do I have a motion to place ordinance 24-32 on its first and only reading, suspending the rules, reading by title only?
Moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Carroll.
Yes.
Long.
Yes?
Wiles.
Yes.
Hunt.
Yes.
Rissler.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Christina?
Ordinance number 24-32, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the city, waiving the requirement of competitive bidding.
Madam Mayor, I make a
Yes.
motion, we adopt ordinance 24-32.
Thank you. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second to adopt. Roll call.
Long.
Yes?
Wiles.
Yes.
Hunt.
Yes.
Rissler.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Ordinance 24-32 is approved. Next is our resolutions. Resolution 46-24, preliminary plat development permit for Banff Homes of Siloam Springs subdivision, 2600 block of North Country Club Road. Kevin?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Kevin Moore, Public Works. This item was voted on at the previous board meeting with 2 members absent. The item failed due to 2 no votes, 3 yes votes, and then the 2 absents. One of the no votes has asked that this come back forward for reconsideration, and so that's why it's on the agenda again tonight. The Planning Commission recommended approval, and staff recommends approval with the included conditions, and we are available for any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Directors, comments or questions? There
Madam Mayor?
being none? Yes.
Over here.
Yes, Ken?
Just real quick, I've been asked, since I was not here the last time, I apologize, but asked my thoughts on this, so real quickly. I know the PD zoning has been a topic of conversation, and as it has been on the books, I have not been a fan of it, and we've talked about that. I realize it needs to be studied, to be changed, and I know we're working on that, and I'm glad to see that. And as far as this particular project, honestly, it's not as I would like to see it being done. I've got some, not issues, but I think if it were me, I would have made a few minor changes here and there. I'm not against it per se. I think this type of project has its place in town. I think it could be very useful. Well, I guess that's all I'm going to say. I'm not against it. This one I would have done differently, and I know we're working on PD, and I'm sorry to repeat myself there, but which I think needs to be done. So anyway, I was asked how I felt, and that's how I feel.
Thank you, Ken. Anyone else? Yes,
Madam Mayor.
Mark. And then David. Okay, David?
I was not here at the board meeting either, but I was here at pre-agenda and made my thoughts known that I have had problems with the PD plan development, which is another term for multi-use. This project is probably, if not the first, one of the very first to actually do the plan development as it is supposed to be according to definition. It's unlike any other housing development we've got in that it is individual townhomes, but townhomes within a large building, some 4, some 5, some 6. And it's something that's needed, and I think it will be a good project. I'm going to have to be taught how to say BOMF or BAMF or whatever, but I think it's a good project. It looks nice, and I think the people who end up living there will be very comfortable.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, Mark.
I just wanted to be publicly declare that I voted no last time, and I'm not going to change my vote, but I believe that the people of Siloam elect the 7 people up here to represent the 18,000 or 25,000 or whatever the number is, and the technicality that there were 2 missing people last time, so it was technically, by being absent, is a no. If it's not a yes, it's a no vote. And so I am willing to bring this back up for the sake of all the citizens, not just the ones that opinion that I'm representing. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Reed.
I just would like to say that I appreciate what the city did and the depth of work that you put into this, as well as the police department, fire department, to make sure everything was in good shape with this, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to Oral Resolution 46-24?
Misty Stevens, Madam Mayor, 1701 Villaview Drive in Siloam Springs. Directors, I'm just here on behalf of Banff Homes, and that's how you say it, David, Banff.
BAMF?
Yeah.
Okay.
The developer wants to submit something and develop something that we will all be proud of and that, and be part of our community. So I am here for any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. Is there anyone else?
I appreciated Misty being here at the pre-agenda. She gave a lot of info, and it was helpful.
She absolutely did, yes. Yes, sir.
Kent Wyatt again, 1109 East Jewel Street. There was some talk, I watched the pre-agenda online, and there was some talk about some things I thought probably needed clarification. This may be a done issue this time, but I think there's some cautionary things to look at. The development that you see here and then looking at is not, Reed mentioned that about affordable senior housing, we need that and we need it really badly. But saying that in this context with this type of property is really misleading, because a $300,000 townhome with multiple floors and remote guest parking is not affordable senior housing. And so that is not what this is about. It's also not a family-friendly, as in kid-family-friendly at all. And I understand what Misty, what she was talking about, that there's the new way of living and different things like that. And I know, like Reed said, there's a lot of times that I don't want a yard either, but these are not those things. And so what you're more likely to get with this is people who are high income, maybe progressive individuals that are coming into making this a bedroom community kind of over along the 49th Strip. Now, that's not for sure. There can be people right around town here that love this, and that's great. But the more we invite that type of building and the more we make that, we change Siloam Springs. We change what it is, and just keep that in mind as you're making your decisions when you go forward from this time on PDs. And I agree with, I think, most everybody that's talked here, that there's some issues that need to be corrected. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Rebecca Wyatt, 1109 East Jewel Street. And so, can you put the other one up that shows the front of the townhomes too? Is there any way to do that? You don't have the picture of the townhomes themselves? So they had the picture last time up of the townhomes, and the picture looks really pretty, but there is, if you look closely, there's only a patio for the backyard, so there's no backyard, and on the front it's a extra wide garage, single car, and there's 2 parking spaces out front. And so when you look on this, it only has a playground that's about 4,000 square feet, which would be twice my house, and then some pickleball courts. And so this isn't for 149 houses. This is not made for children. And this is not made for elderly, because when you're elderly, you're looking for a single story in case you fall or something, that your bedroom is not on the second floor. So this is not made for seniors. This is not made for children. There isn't any place to play. And then on top of it, there's no place to park on the street. You can go at the very end. Now, who is going to do that? So I don't see this as a positive thing. I understand that, this probably will pass tonight, but I do hope in the future that these kinds of developments will not be allowed through. I hope there will be some changes in the way things are allowed to be made. How would I say that? The way
Design.
zoning, because, when you have no backyard, you have no parking up on the street, this isn't for kids to play. If anybody has children, how are they going to play in the yard? How are they going to play in the front yard? How are people going to park? So thank you for my rambling time, and thanks for everything.
Thank you. Yeah, David. Oh, I think we have another person that would like to speak to us.
Katie Renard, 702 East Delaware, Siloam Springs, Arkansas. While I understand everyone's desires to have us be a certain way because that's how they feel, I want to remind everyone of the Fair Housing Act, and that discusses discrimination. It says that it prohibits discrimination in sale, rental, and finance of dwellings and in other housing-related transactions, including race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, including children under the age of 18 living with parents, or legal custodians, pregnant women, and people securing custody of children under the age of 18. This is just a reminder that as we think about these things, we need to keep in mind that we're a fair housing community and we provide residences for all.
Thank you, Katie. Anyone else? Then David?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate the comments from the public. I believe that this was not meant to fulfill the senior housing or family housing. I think this is a different market. There's quite a bit of industry down the street, and so I think you'll have some employees that wish to live close to where they work. And with the tremendous amount of influx into all cities in Northwest Arkansas, I think you have to give a variety of housing styles. And I don't know how many years ago it was, 2 or 3 years ago, but it was 26 families a day moved to Northwest Arkansas. And we have to be ready and cognizant of the different desires of style. Not everybody wants to be in a single-family home with a yard. That is what we have traditionally been, and that's what I still encourage. But we have different people. I mean, what is the old saying? Different strokes for different folks. And so I encourage this, but I think we most definitely realize that this is probably going to fulfill this niche for quite some time. And the next niche that has been identified by the board in board goals, and most especially quite some time ago by Director Carroll, is senior housing, is a goal that we all want to see brought to us in the future because of the need that Mr. and Mrs. Wyatt just brought up of single-family, smaller units with not as much maintenance. And I think that that will be brought in the future because we've already identified as a city that there is a need and a market for it. But I appreciate everyone's comments. I don't think there's ever been any question that our city staff, city board, local developers have always abided by the Fair Housing Act. And in fact, we just went over 50% of housing that is low income. So we have definitely provided lots of styles of homes, and this is one that is different and unique, and I kind of hate that I didn't think of it. But I think it's good, and it will be something that people, it may take a while because there's a lot of units, but it will get filled up eventually because there's a market. I encourage other styles to come before our city as what has been brought up here tonight. And I appreciate all the comments because it takes all of us to know what is needed and what is necessary for the future of the city. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, David.
Madam Mayor?
Directors? Yes, Mindy.
I appreciate David's comments because I was not at the pre-agenda meeting, and I was out of town in a place where my cell phone coverage was horrid, so I didn't get a chance to watch it before today, and we just got back last night. But I never did understand that this was supposed to be specifically for seniors or even families, that this was just, so I wondered if I had missed that conversation at the pre-agenda meeting. Okay. And so I just kind of wanted to remind us that over my 6 years on the board, we have approved many housing developments for single-family homes with yards, starter homes, great for families. So this is just another niche of the market that we will be able to appeal to. And I agree with what you were saying. So thank you. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that somehow this was supposed to be what it's not supposed to be. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. Directors, anyone else? If not, then do I have a motion to approve Resolution 46-24?
I move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call.
Wiles.
Yes.
Hunt.
Yes.
Rissler.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Long.
No.
Motion is approved. Thank you very much.
I will say that I
Yes.
appreciate a board member wishing to have as close to a full board to vote and has asked for reconsideration. That is the board at work, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, David. And Misty, thank you again for being here. With that, we will move to the next item, which is Resolution 47-24. Final plat development permit, Whispering Oaks Addition, Phase 1B, 300 to 500 block of Oak Crest Road. Ben?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the board, Ben Rhodes. So before you, you have a final plat. So this is one that's already been built with the approved preliminary plat, was approved, I believe, last year. They are coming in with the Phase 1B of the Whispering Oaks subdivision, coming in zoned R1. That's the large lot, single-family residential. This will add 16 new homes on that property. And I misspoke, it was approved by the board on 2021 as a preliminary plat. And this did not go to the Planning Commission because they had already reviewed Phase 1A and approved that. And that was the only change from the original preliminary plat. And so with that, we are available for any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Directors? Is there anyone in the audience that have comments or questions on Resolution 47-24? There being none, directors, do I have a motion to approve Resolution 47-24?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Hunt.
Yes.
Rissler.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Carroll.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Wiles.
Yes.
Resolution 47-24 is approved. With that, we will move into our staff reports and then into our administrator's report. Christina?
So this evening, we have the third quarter nonprofit reports. So Mary, would you like to come up and speak?
Good evening, Mayor and illustrious board members. It's good to see you again. This is our third quarter report, and I'd like to know if the format is something you guys like. So it's hard to know exactly how to put everything in a easy way for you to look at it. But let me mention a couple things that I think were very successful so far this year. Channel 5 News did come out and do a segment called Around the Corner at the museum, and that is still up on their website. And we have probably had a couple dozen people come in who have seen that, so that was great for us. We also had the Amazium, partnered with them a couple times this year. They were here at the Fourth Friday event and made that very successful. Our social media has had a big part in getting some of our events out there and increasing our attendance. And so we've had a wonderful addition to the staff about a year ago, Nolan Hill. And the only reason I mention him is he has a real connection to our community. He grew up in Gentry and graduated from Siloam Springs High School. When we discovered him, he was in Amarillo, Texas. But the story is his grandmother met his grandfather at the Park House restaurant, and it was a boarding house way back then. Staff, we had an opportunity to go up to Gravette and get to know their museum a little bit and get some new ideas. We attended Gravette Day there. We did a historic information about the Park House corner, which was originally intended to be kind of the central part of the town. And so we did some history things there on a Saturday. Didn't have a huge attendance, but the people that were there really enjoyed learning about that little corner of our town. And that information is now posted at the museum for you to come and see. So a couple lessons we learned with that was I think people prefer to go to historic homes like we've done in the past, and kind of keep with that idea on historic stuff. So another thing would be we are working really hard to deaccession some items in the museum, so we'll be working on that. That was one of our biggest challenges. And the summary of patrons and donations is, I just have to give a shout out to Don Warden. The amount of time he spends with people is as much as they want. So he's very patient and he hangs in there. And my role is mainly meet and greet. I know kind of the big picture of the town, but I don't know the details of people, places, and things. And that's where Don Warden comes in handy. I think that's almost, let's see. Oh, I'd like to share with you a little bit about what we have coming up. The Osher Lifelong Learning Institute out of U of A will be bringing a group to town on November 8th. They'll be touring the museum, a little bit of downtown, and also John Brown University. Online, we had talked about putting more things on the website, more videos and that type of thing. So if you'll go to our website, you will find Found in the Archives, and we have redone those. Nolan did a really good job with those, so you can really look at some things there, and I think you'll enjoy seeing some of that. We also have a book on Siloam Springs that Don Warden wrote a few years ago, so if you're interested in that, it's for sale on our website. You'd be welcome to go ahead and purchase that. And if there are any questions or anything, I'd be glad to answer them for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Is there any other nonprofits that would like to speak? Arthur, the Chamber of Commerce want to speak?
Sure, sorry. Arthur Holbert, 2075 Highway 16, President and CEO of the Siloam Springs Chamber of Commerce. Pleasure being with you guys today. You guys have a copy of the report, which is in detail. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's in code. Sometimes you'll see things like Project Sigma, different projects, things like that. And that's because we can't give a whole lot of details, but I can say that at least one of those is a very large publicly traded company. It's been around over 50 years. So basically, we're on a lot of people's radar in terms of consideration for coming to Siloam Springs. So a lot of the times we're doing RFIs, requests for information, we're filling out the paperwork on that. Most of them have a code name, so that's kind of what that's about. A lot of the stuff in the report, too, you see a lot of the collaboration we do with the Western Benton County Partnership. That's something that we started in Siloam Springs. It's 5 cities, Silver Springs, Gentry, Decatur, Gravette, Siloam Springs. We've worked on workforce development, things like that. So we've been able to help raise $350,000 for 10 childcare homes, of which are going to be spread all up and down the 59 corridor, 2 of which will be in Silent Springs, each home having 10 homes. What happens is they actually get certified, credentialed, so that they can provide quality care so people can get a job. Because one of the biggest things that people struggle with is being able to have affordable child care for that. We've had a whole lot of events. A lot of you guys have been to them, and we have some more around the corner. Like I said, just for the sake of time and respect, you guys have my report. I am available for questions. But sometimes there's things called like Project Sigma and things like that. So can't give much more information than I already did. Thank you.
So expenditures in excess of 30,000. JCI, $50,514.54. This is to repair or replace 2 mixers for the biological nutrient removal system in the wastewater division. And Hennard Utility, $35,661.84. This is for AMI water meters for the water service division. Expenditures per resolution 07-24, there were none this week. Fall cleanup occurs next week, October 21st through the 24th. This service is provided at no additional cost to residents and offers an opportunity to dispose of approved bulk household items on their regular trash day. Residents are encouraged to place their items curbside by 7 a.m. on their designated trash day, but no sooner than the day before. This Saturday, October 19th, we will kick off the first ever Siloam Springs Equipment Rodeo. And this event will be held at the transfer station and will include a variety of challenges. There will also be food trucks and an interactive touch-a-truck experience. Also on the 19th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., the fire department is having an open house and chili cook-off at Station 1. Early voting begins next Monday, October 21st, and we encourage every registered voter to make their voices heard. Mayor?
Thank you, Christina. So with that, we are moving into our director's reports. Before I turn the floor over to the directors, I do have something that I need to let the directors know. As you know, per our administrator's contract, he is to be evaluated by the end of October. We were a little almost there, but it's time for us to do that. And the board had directed Director Rissler to help them put together a new evaluation form. They were not really happy with what we have done in the past. So that has been done. The evaluation this year will be distributed electronically. It will be through our HR department. There will be instructions with that evaluation on how the grading system, the numbering system, it works, and how to answer all of those questions. I mean, it will all be electronic. Whatever electronic means is best for you all, that's how you may do it. I would like to ask that you get those completed and back to HR so that we can look at those during an executive session on November the 5th. That will be our first meeting in November, so we can get this completed. So with that, if you have any questions, I would be glad to try and answer them. And if not, you can give myself or HR a call, and we'll be glad to try and help you answer those. So with that, yes, Mark?
How are you going to provide us that electronic form?
You may, it's going to be by email form. Yeah, yeah. Anyone else? If not, then I will move to our director's reports. Mindy, we will start with you, and David, we will end with you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to put myself out there a little bit, be a little bit vulnerable. 2 years ago, when I ran for the board this time of year, it was one of the hardest times of my life. Very difficult. There was perception by some that I was not conservative and Christian enough. Even heard through the grapevine that there were prayer groups with people praying for my opponent, not me. Fortunately, during that time, I happened to be reading in Psalms, and Psalms is what got me through that very difficult time. Provide a lot of comfort and peace because it's a lot about people who feel like they're being attacked by enemies, sometimes for no reason. I'm very thankful that I serve a Lord who knows my heart. And I just encourage people that when they are seeking guidance for who to vote for in the local, state, and national levels, that they seek Jesus for his guidance and Jesus alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. Ken?
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, sir. Lisa?
I have nothing.
Reed?
I do. Can I say
Yes,
something?
we take that back.
I
We do have
do.
something.
I'm excited they started on Lake Francis Road. So if you haven't heard, they've started on Lake Francis Road and they've started the asphalt, so, right? Am I right? And we have a 4-week plan to get it done? Am I putting you on the spot? I'm so sorry. I'm just excited that we're finally moving forward.
Kevin Moore, Public Works. So they did pave on Saturday. They paved the east half of the project. That is the first layer. So once they pave the west half, they'll do a final asphalt course to get one clean final product once the project's done. I've not gotten the detailed timeline yet, but they are estimating 4 weeks or less, 4 weeks to final inspection. So it would be paved before that point. And then they're shooting to pave the western half by the end of next week.
So the manholes have already been lowered? Because don't those take a week or two?
Yes, the manholes, as of yesterday when I was out there, they had removed the top and had formed up to pour the manhole to the proper grade.
Excited. I'm
That is
excited. I get
exciting.
more phone calls on that than anything I've ever gotten phone calls on.
That it?
Yes.
Well, that's enough. That's pretty exciting. You're right. Thank you, Kevin. Reed?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do want to remind everyone, we do have an election coming up. And give you my campaign slogan again, please vote. I'd like to see a high percentage of people get out there. Fall is here. Very glad for it. Tonight we may have our first frost even, which kind of starts the whole thing. Please take the time to do some research, find out what's going on with our annexation, with the different things happening within our community and whatever's on the ballot so that you can make that good, informed decision. I'm looking forward to cleanup next week. I've had some things in my garage for about 3 weeks now, and I'm ready to put those out. And I think my wife is too, but I won't ask her. This Saturday, we do have the first ever Saddle Springs Equipment Rodeo, and I will do my part by not participating in the equipment rodeo, but I will be there seeing what the food trucks do, but I'm going to stay off the equipment. You're welcome. I'll make myself a little vulnerable as well, Miss Mindy. I'm a firm believer that God is alive and that he is on the throne. And if you seek him, you will find him. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Reed. Mark?
Well, I normally pass when it's time to do this, but Monday, which is 6 days from today, is early voting. So you can get out. I believe it's on Lincoln Street, where you pay your Benton County taxes, right next to the revenue office. You can go vote early. I think that's the only location in Siloam right now. Pardon me? Oh, well, apparently there's one at the community building as well. Please go vote, and please pray for the candidates. This is a season when lots of things get said that may or may not be true. It does not work well to get up and defend yourself against anything that may be untrue said about you. But so please pray for all the candidates. They put their life out on the line, and their opinions and their ideas out. Please do seek God's advice, and please, please vote.
Thank you, Mark. David?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate all the comments from the board tonight. I want to first congratulate Captain Aviles and Sergeant Ephraim for their promotion, for their 20-year service, first of all. We were at the police department gala earlier this year when their promotions were inducted by our police chief, amongst many others, and it was truly moving, especially to see the families there to celebrate. But 20 years is 2 decades. Many people get into public service to get their 20 years and get out. These 2 men are not doing that. These 2 men continue to have a career after 20 years. They enjoy working here, and we owe them a lot. And I appreciate them greatly, and I appreciate our police leadership to find the talent like these 2 gentlemen and promote them and put them in leadership positions to affect the lives of everybody in the city, and I appreciate it very much. I will say, we have not had a Chamber of Commerce leader in many decades like the current one, Arthur Holbert. He hustles like nobody I've seen. He is never without a bottomless source of energy. I don't know where he gets it. But he looks for businesses and industries that provide jobs. And that is what has been lacking in this city for a long time. When I was mayor, we came very close to getting a new industry to take the Franklin Electric building. It was empty. We lost 900 jobs to Mexico, sadly. And that was a situation that would have been a perfect fit. The entire thing was $1 million, and we could have bought it and leased it. And a door company, believe it or not, company makes doors, actually did look at it and consider it. We need more of that. The city, on at least the past 4 administrators, has tried multiple times in hiring economic development employees to coordinate this. It never works. It just doesn't work. The city has far too many things that it is responsible to the citizens for, namely, my biggest goal, streets, sewer, water, electric, all the things that a city should provide its citizens, like police and fire. The economic development is something that Arthur Holbert and his board of directors at the chamber have been very good at and continue to do good at. And yes, you see the report, they have code names because they can't let it out, because if it gets out in the public that they're talking to ABC Corporation, I can assure you that company will no longer talk to you. But to see an aerospace company that was listed, just not their name, but just the subject, I'm like, my goodness, would that not be amazing to have a company providing the high-tech jobs of an aerospace company here in little old Siloam Springs? I got to tell you, folks, that's where it is. That's where it's happening, because those jobs is what is needed in Siloam Springs. It's been a big, big niche that's needed filling, and I cannot thank them enough. Not just Arthur, but Lindsay and Cindy and the entire team and the chamber board for putting that as a goal, because the city can't do it. We've tried, and the chamber board did a great job hiring Arthur Hulbert, luring him here to Siloam Springs, and he's become a very key part of the city, and I appreciate him a great deal. I want to say there has been a lot of stuff on Facebook about Lake Francis Drive, Lake Francis, the street not being finished. And an awful lot of complaints are pointed at this board and this staff saying it's all our fault. Oh, Tri-State's isn't at fault. It's not their fault. Trust me, folks, it is Tri-State's fault. Tri-State got the contract. They got a contract for another street. They did that. I know some people who work at Tri-State. They don't work around here, so they're busy in other cities. But our Lake Francis Drive got the short shrift and got ignored, I believe, because they were busy with other things. Maybe it's because they ran out of supplies like asphalt. I don't know. But it has been a challenge, and it most certainly has not been at the feet of city staff or the board of directors. The staff, I can assure you, has been putting a burr under their saddle every single day to get this worked on, and it finally has started, and it is looking like it will be done fairly soon. So we can all, you need something to pray about at night? That's something to pray about, Lake Francis getting finished. It affects an awful lot of our population. I will say also, are you there? There has been a very coordinated effort for 18 months to cancel me flat out, ruin my reputation, all because of me doing my job as an elected official to look out for the future of the city, for its finances, I'm a law and order guy. And I can tell you, for anybody to be saying online that our city administrator lost his contract without cause is untrue. There was cause. There most certainly was cause. Whether it had been violating city law, state law, there were many, many different reasons. There was not a discussion because it didn't have to be discussed. It was personnel related. The reason severance was paid was because it was much cheaper to do that than to fight a lawsuit with taxpayer money that could have gone to $500,000. So yes, this board was looking out for the best interests of the citizens in doing what was done. Now, to have local people, woke cancelers that go out and say, Ken Wiles, Betsy Blair, Lisa Rissler, David Allen are way out there, liberal, wasting our money and using their position for their own personal benefit. I'd like someone to tell me how I'm personally benefiting sitting on this board, or any member of this board right now. Anybody sitting up here, even Director Rissler who's not, and our mayor, not a single person is benefiting personally by serving. As a public servant, there is salary and benefits to staff, but staff is not personally benefiting. And to have that rumor, false as it is, be pervaded by people who just want to stir the pot and gripe, it is wrong and it is false. And I will just say, we have had a former city administrator continue to disrupt city operations, even though he currently works for the Arkansas Municipal League, which the city of Siloam Springs is a member of. It is infuriating to see the amount of dishonesty and lies about this board, individuals, or as a whole, pervaded upon the public. I do know that there have been past board members that have benefited personally. They're not here anymore. Not a single one up here has had that happen or has tried to have it happen. They don't want to do anything except serve the public. Trust me, everyone up here would much rather be spending time with their kids, grandkids, or sitting on a beach. or working their job every day. They do not make a whole lot of money sitting here hours throughout the month. Now it's every week we have meetings. It is not for anyone's health to be doing this, mentally or physically. We do it for one reason. We all love the city of Siloam Springs. And we want our city to grow, and we want our citizens to do well. Financially, personally, mentally, all of it. We want our citizens to do well. Staff, same feeling. I mean, golly, our staff, they could go anywhere. They could be working in the biggest cities in this country. I just say it's infuriating to see the nonsense when you know it's not true. I love this city. I love the citizens. I feel closer to a lot of the citizens in this town as my family than I do even my blood family. I take offense at lies and dishonesty, even pervaded by people who support me that I have had nothing to do with. It is offensive to me and hurts me as well. So let's all rise above. Let's go and do our best, and the best man, woman, or person be voted for. But don't forget, you have nothing to complain about if you don't go out and vote. It is an honor and a right provided in this country that so many countries don't have. Venezuela, your vote doesn't count. You can go vote, but it's all a joke because it's a dictatorship. The vote will always come out for the dictator. And I don't care what you want to call either of the party's leaders, that they're going to ruin democracy or there's a dictator coming. That's all nonsense. Dictators are in Russia, in Venezuela. It happens around the world, and we're blessed by God to be where we are. And I just pray that people don't take it for granted. So, as Reed said, get out and vote. That's the number one thing we all want to see happen in the next two and a half weeks. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam
Thank you,
Mayor.
David.
I
Yeah,
I
Mindy?
did forget to say something just real quick.
Yes.
And it's, David's right, we don't benefit. And in fact, what I wanted to say about a service that was provided to my family, my husband had said, are you going to say something about it or not? Because we don't want it to look like we're getting any kind of special treatment, because we're not. That's not why we do this, and we don't get the special treatment. But it just so happened that a dead tree, because it's been so awfully dry, a dead tree in my neighbor's yard fell over, huge tree, fell over into a power line and sent a surge of electricity through our house, messed it up on a Sunday night. I called I called just the main number, called Alan and then the main number. Our electric department came out that night and got the electricity fixed. And when my husband said, well, I'm not sure if you should say anything because you don't want it to look like it's special service, I said, well, no, actually our electric department, anytime anyone in this town has an issue, within 5 minutes, they're there, and it's all over Facebook. We have the best electric department in town, and it is true. So it wasn't a special service to me. It is just our electric department. I don't even know if they knew who I was.
Mindy, you didn't get anything special. You got the same treatment anyone else would
Same
get.
treatment everyone else gets, and that's
Absolutely.
what I told my husband. I said, no, I'm going to say something because they do that for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just who they are. And we had the electricity restored. The next day, they came back and they picked up the mess that had been made from the tree falling, because of course it just splintered all over the place, and they had to pick it up to be able to do what they needed to do, but it saved my next door neighbor from having to pay someone to come out and clean up the mess. So kudos. I've already told Phil to thank his workers, and they might have gotten some chocolate chip cookies, but they just did a marvelous job and in a very timely manner. So I just wanted to make sure I
No, Michael, he was too worried for nothing because
was
you
too
got
worried
the
for-
same treatment
I
any,
did.
any city
I did.
citizen gets because we have that much dedication from every department. But electric, oh, we put every other electric department to shame. We really do. Motion to adjourn, Madam Mayor?
Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.